been a while, hasn't it? Well, since then, the group gave me my own apartment in the backrooms. Press play, smoke some weed.
You haven't seen something so beautiful, have you, explorer? You walk out amidst the trees, bark smooth and black as pitch, lending them a kind of witchy elegance. It's a luscious red underfoot. The ground is carpeted with a mixture of red grass and crimson leaves that have fallen from the many long, interlocking branches up above. It's twilight. The sky is dark blue, and dotted in white clusters of scattered stars. You can hear...
Let me pause it. Let me show you around my apartment, yo. This is my apartment here. Kitchen, not much. Just like a normal apartment in real life would have. So, yeah. Not much. Press play again.
Whispers in the air, the music of the forest. After being in so many terrifying places, you find yourself breathing so easy here. Could this really be level 14 of the backrooms?
Are you hungry?
It seems impossible.
Can you
it seems
go
too
cook me up a
perfect, too
pizza?
lovely
So,
to be true.
I'll be right back.
But it
Thanks,
is,
Mom.
explorer. Welcome to level 14. Welcome to paradise. You keep walking, wanting to see more. Your eyes are practically watering with the majesty of it. The air smells like fresh-cut grass. In the distance, a fat white moon hangs in the heavens, somehow calming you with its rays. You feel like you're in some exquisite painting you may have seen once in a dream. Perhaps after all your suffering, this level is a reward, a reprieve, an oasis of light in the vast, cold desert of malice. As you walk, you notice more strange things on the ground. Are those bones distributed amongst the red leaves and grass? If they are, they look to be made of some shimmering crystal, diamond-studded. The moonlight shimmers off of them beautifully. What even is this place? You just keep walking, excited to see what you'll find next, when suddenly a pang of hunger strikes you. It feels like a crude and ugly urge in a place as pristine as this. Just like the confusion and dread you feel when you reach for your backpack to find a snack, only to realize that somehow you're not wearing your backpack anymore. How could this be? Your food, your supplies, your weapons, how could they all be? Then you breathe in another lungful of that clean, crisp, slightly perfumed air, and your worries are chased from your mind. It's fine. You'll deal with this one way or another. You haven't survived 15 levels of the backrooms by not being resourceful. Whatever is lost can be found again. It's just a matter of being patient and taking everything indoors. But still, you're hungry. You'll need to solve that. You keep walking through the strange woods of this fairy tale paradise, searching high and low for something that can sustain you. That's when you happen upon a dew-kissed apple, laying on the ground amidst the falling leaves. You've never seen a more delicious-looking apple. Carefully, you pick it up and study it. A marvelous specimen that feels like it should be sitting on a teacher's desk in a cartoon. It's plump and shapely, with deep, rich skin that shines somehow even redder than the undergrowth. Your mouth waters just looking at it. You feel your stomach rumble and decide it's time to indulge. You sink your teeth into the apple and eat a sizable chunk. It's every bit as delectable as the apple's appearance would suggest. You feel so good. What is it about this place that makes you feel so calm, so content? Even back in the old world, that was never you. Anxiety ate at you like a pit full of hungry rats. You had trouble sleeping every night because you'd lay awake in bed, staring at the ceiling, being harried by your worries, doubts, and fears. It was debilitating. You couldn't sleep, but there were so many days you couldn't even get out of bed. You were terrified of the world, even before you entered this realm filled with nightmares and monsters. You always had some invisible force kneeling on your chest, making it harder to breathe. But here on level 14 of the backrooms, you can breathe so easy. You drink in the air. You want to get drunk on this place. Some part of you never wants to leave, but you also want to know why you don't want to leave. What's going on here? You keep walking through the seemingly enchanted forest until you happen upon a clearing. A vast, flat plain carpeted with the same red grass. And there are people here. Happy, smiling people, all dressed in white robes. It's a wholesome pastoral setting. People dance around a maypole. Others sit at a long table feasting and chatting happily. It's the most truly content you've seen other human beings in the backrooms. The air sings with the most beautiful music, but you can't see anyone out there playing it. Is it really out there? Or just in your head? You can't quite tell. Suddenly some of the dancing people notice you and begin to approach. They're smiling so warmly, their arms extended. You feel so welcomed. You hardly even notice it, but you're beginning to smile. It's the first time in as long as you can remember that you feel like you belong somewhere. The people of level 14 invite you into their clearing to join them in their revelry. They speak about this place with the same kind of reverence that you feel in your heart. They tell you that they'd had terrible experiences in the rest of the backrooms. They lost friends and loved ones to the monsters lurking on the many levels. They'd been chased by smilers and dullers, attacked by beasts in the deep, dark waters, and tortured mentally by the beast of level 5. Level 14 was an oasis, a reprieve from the horrors. Why would they ever want to leave? And their words, they resonate with you. You've experienced a lifetime of being unsafe. Is it really so wrong, so selfish, to want to take it easy for whatever time you have left? This place seems so nice. Don't you want to see the rest of it? Don't you want to make a nice little life for yourself here? One of the smiling robed people invites you over to a nearby dinner table. It is a beautiful feast, with various roast birds, apples, glass bowls full of delicious-looking berries, succulent sliced ham, and a variety of desserts, from elaborately molded jello to bowls of warm, delicious custard. The first apple was certainly tasty, but you couldn't be more eager to partake in this incredible meal. You take a seat, one seemingly reserved for you, and someone passes you an ornate metal goblet full of a fruity-smelling drink. You drink deeply. It is divine, transcendent. When you place your goblet down on the table, one of the others leans in with a jug and fills it back up. You're surrounded by so many grinning faces, all welcoming you, all wanting you to be here. It's such a warm, loving feeling. Is this place heaven? But now, it's time to eat. You and the others congregating around the table begin to fill your plates, cutting away parts of chicken, turkey, quail, liberating slices of ham, grabbing vegetables, and pouring on decadent sauces. After weeks or perhaps even months of energy bars and thermoses full of almond water, to eat real food like this feels like the greatest luxury. You eat ravenously. You want to take your fill, just like all the others. That's when you see one of the people across the table making eye contact with you, smiling. It's a slightly older woman, perhaps in her mid-50s. Maybe you're projecting, but she seems oddly motherly to you. Are you glad to be here, explorer? She asks. You swallow your mouthful of chicken, washing it down with a goblet of that tasty, fruity liquid. You nod, smiling politely in return. Good, she says. You're meant to be here. This is paradise. It's a beautiful, perfect place. A warm blanket, a soft, protective membrane that keeps us safe from the horrors of this universe. It is kindness and abundance. It is our mother and father. We will stay here, and we will receive its bounty. It is a little eerie, but you decide to continue smiling and nodding. The food is good, the vibes are immaculate. You don't intend to ruin anything.
Valentino. Born in Rome.
After all, who could blame someone for going a little loopy in the backrooms? It is a stressful place to be, to say the least. Perhaps once this might have bothered you. Maybe seeing something that seems a little eerie like that, a little off, would have made you feel nervous. You've learned to notice little things in the back rooms, but here, you don't feel that same sense of unease. It's as though, on this level, your brain is being flattened. That's when you notice another apple sitting on the table. It looks just like the one you found in the forest. So red, juicy, and plump. Ignoring everything else, you pick it up and take a big bite. Again, that delicious flavor cascades down your throat. You chew for a moment, savoring the taste, when suddenly, something feels off. It isn't so much the taste, but the texture. You feel like something is moving against your tongue. What the hell is that? You grab a napkin off the table and spit into it. What you see within horrifies and disgusts you. A blob of dark brown mush, filled with wriggling maggots. Shocked, you turn and look at the apple you just took a bite out of. It looks rotten and withered, covered in furry mold with browning flesh within. It's alive with hundreds of maggots. You drop it onto the table with a horrified splat. What's wrong? The older woman asks. You look up and gasp. The table is completely different now. The food is rotten and rancid, covered in mold, hungry flies, and nasty wriggling creatures. The formerly pristine white tablecloth looks like used toilet paper. The robes of the people around the table are equally tarnished. The revelers, the people of level 14, are filthy and emaciated. The grime on them looks almost bone deep. Some of them are chewing on the old corpses of death rats. Others smile with chattering black teeth. There is no music anymore. The air smells like rot. The calm dissipates instantly. You open your mouth to let out a horrified scream, but before the sound can begin, everything is back to normal. It's as though a switch has been flipped. The food looks delicious again. There's music in the air. All the other diners around the table look normal once more. But now, you've drawn attention to yourself. They're all looking at you, smiling. That sense of calm is trying to enter your mind again, but this time, it doesn't feel like a guest. It feels like an intruder. This level is trying to sedate you, to numb your perceptions, to keep you from noticing the truth of the matter. It's like you're in Plato's cave and you've just learned the meaning of shadow. What is seen cannot be unseen. You turn from the table and vomit onto the red grass, drawing even more attention to yourself. Is something wrong, explorer? The old woman asks. You don't want to answer her. You want to get out of this monstrous place. Without saying a word, you climb out of your seat and begin to run back towards the woods. You can hear the people in the white robes rising up from their seats to pursue you, but you don't have time to look back. Not if you want to live. And despite yourself, you now know that you really, really do want to live. Life is full of mixed blessings like that. You keep running back into the woods. They still seem beautiful for a moment. The red grass and leaves, the gorgeous dark trees, the shimmering crystalline bones. You blink for a moment, and momentarily, everything changes. The trees and branches are dead, rotten, and wilting. The ground is littered with decaying corpses all laying face down. The whole environment stinks of death, so thick and overpowering you feel the urge to vomit. You look over your shoulder and see the filthy people with soiled robes and hungry eyes sprinting through the forest after you. And lucky for you, their malnutrition leaves them without energy. Soon enough, they fall behind, fading into the darkness. Another blink, and everything is normal again. But you know what's really here. For as long as you live, you'll know. Want to stay tuned for the next exciting exploration into the backrooms as we delve deeper and deeper into this liminal abyss? Be sure to subscribe to the Backrooms Explained and turn on notifications.
There was this guy, farmer's son, a mechanic, a dreamer who was determined to build a legacy. When everyone told him it was impossible, he...
Feeling a little sick of tangling with trouble in paradise? Who could blame you? The backrooms can often feel like biting into a big, juicy, delicious apple, only to find that there's a worm inside. Or, more realistically, half a worm now. Yummy. The backrooms often evoke some vague feeling of the past, whether it's the shag carpeting of the 70s, the outdated wallpaper and storefronts of 1985, or even the desolate corporate wastelands that feel all too native to the era of Y2K. Ever feel like you're born into the wrong generation? Too late to explore the Earth, too early to explore present and future seem to converge and coalesce. You've seen plenty of the past in the present, really enough to fill a lifetime, but you haven't seen nearly enough of the future, have you? Sure, we could get all existential and tell you that, really, we're always living in the future. The present is a single microsecond, a sliver so thin it can't even be perceived. Blink, it's gone. Welcome to the future. We hope it's everything you thought it'd be. Welcome, also, to level 15 of the backrooms, the futuristic halls. You don't know how you got here. You don't know how you'll leave. But that's fine. It's all fine, isn't it? You're just sprinting forward into that eternal future, where all the good stuff is. The exit will be sitting somewhere in that vague, oily mass we call the future. So the best you can do is trust yourself. Trust the instinct that has gotten you this far. And keep going. Keep walking. Keep exploring. If you survived this long, it can't be that counterintuitive, can it? You're going to apply those exact same techniques here and see what happens. Hopefully these dice don't give you snake eyes. A pair of metal doors slide open freely as you approach, reminding you of the doors onto the bridge of the Starship Enterprise. In all those classic Star Trek episodes you watched a few too many times. On the other side, you see the first futuristic hall stretching off to a bend in the distance. It's a delicate mix of metal, plastic, and ceramics, all threaded through concrete, blinding white and sleek silver, with pipes running overhead. You walk tentatively onwards, your footsteps clanking on the ground. You have no idea what could be beyond this strange place, but your mind is already flooding with associations, half-remembered media, experienced near and far. You're staying quiet, letting your heel hit the floor first, and allowing the rest of your foot to slowly, carefully fall. You've seen entities that the old you wouldn't have believed. You don't know what could be lurking in these aesthetic, mechanical hallways, from evil robots to futuristic invisible beings. You remember that crappy Resident Evil movie you watched maybe a decade ago, with the hallway full of deadly lasers? That's another thing you're afraid of right now. You don't fancy being lasered into cubes like some miserable human cheese plate. Or what if a panel in the ceiling opens up, and some insane AI-powered minigun descends and opens fire? You try to regulate your breathing as the anxiety mounts. You just need to keep walking down these sleek, futuristic hallways. That's all you need to do. Keep walking. So why does it feel like your heart rate is rising, and your body is boiling up into a rapid onset fever? Why does your brain feel like a scrambled egg? Your vision blurs. There are needles in your muscles. Are you having a panic attack, even though nothing is happening? You just want to feel normal. You want your breath to come back. Why do you feel so afraid, Explorer? Nothing is even happening. It's just a hallway. Well, you have the not unjustified instinct that perhaps this is some kind of anomalous effect caused by the level itself. The reality is far more simple, Explorer. You seem to be suffering from a spot of post-traumatic stress disorder. Since coming here to the backrooms, you've experienced so much sudden danger, to a far greater extent than you ever have before. It's left an indelible mark on your mind, left your body and mind eternally preparing itself for some unseen horror, or violent human, lurking just around the corner. Even the safest levels feel like they're full of hidden dangers now. We're sorry that you're going through this, Explorer, but it's a natural side effect of your circumstances. Perhaps, if you decided to just stay put on a safer level a while back, you wouldn't be experiencing this suffering right now. But you didn't come here just to laze around and fall into all the old rhythms, did you? You wanted excitement. You wanted passion. You wanted a life that challenged you, rather than slowly ground you down. And you got that, Explorer, didn't you? but every sword has two edges. And as you sit on your knees, clutching your throat in these chrome hallways, you're experiencing the other edge of that sword we call excitement. We hope it was worth it. Eventually, you feel the strength and calm to stand again. The panic attack passed. Your ability to breathe returned. You keep walking, taking in the futuristic halls with slightly more reasoned eyes. They just keep going, sometimes dipping or turning slightly, but largely remaining the same uniform corridors of a million procedurally generated video game secret laboratories. When you start coming across heavy metal doors that connect the hallways to other rooms, you can barely contain your excitement and curiosity. For many of these rooms, you hear their impending presence before you even see them. The endless thrumming whir of the engines within, twisting servos and gears, the crackle of electricity. You've seen machines like it on earlier levels, but never this sleek and advanced before. Most of the doors leading to them are locked, of course, likely for your own protection. But you can see what's going on within through the plexiglass viewing ports that many of the doors still have. Who built these machines? And what real purpose are they serving now? Most just seem to generate electricity. But for where? Here? Or the rest of the back rooms? But others create actual objects. As you head further in, the nature of these rooms, many viewable through indestructible glass walls, seems to diversify. Some are empty, their walls plain white, and held up by metal beams. Others seem to be laboratories once, where some research beyond your understanding perhaps used to take place. And it doesn't end there. There are kitchens, expansive dormitories filled with 3-layer bunk beds, control rooms filled with bullpens full of office chairs, and an assortment of glowing monitors all over the walls. Whatever happened here once, it seemed like it was a truly major operation, like some secret underground government base. But if that's the case, where have all the personnel gone? And almost as soon as you begin to entertain the thought, you start seeing the bodies. There are so many of them, spread all over in clusters, old enough to just be husks now, little more than dusty skeletons to be. You've seen far more violent and disgusting things in the back rooms so far, but something about these bodies, and the mysterious nature of who they once were and how they died, weighs heavily on you. It's time to play amateur detective and take a closer look, because who or whatever killed them all? No mind was paid to the concept of subtlety in the process, a blessing and a curse for your admittedly fragile state of mind right now. None of these deaths were natural, of course, but nothing about the deaths seemed like they were caused by a non-human entity. Most seem to have been killed by improvised knives and spears made from common objects that may have rested around in the various rooms of level 15. What had happened here? Had they all gone insane and violent somehow, and killed each other in some kind of deranged level-wide frenzy? You scarcely want to think about it. Monsters and entities killing people is one kind of terrifying. Human beings killing each other is another level of horror entirely. You keep moving, ignoring the now regular smattering of bodies littered all around you. Most of them are dressed like scientists, all of whom, you assumed, once lived and worked here. So horrible. An hour or so later, you pass by another strange room. There are a huge pile of dead hounds, right next to a giant burning furnace of some kind. You need to pour your mind into some other subject, or the anxiety of not knowing is going to drive you insane around here. You need to bury your thoughts in the abstract, or existing this firmly in the undesirable present is going to drive you insane. So, you ask yourself a question you're surprised that you've never actually asked yourself before. What exactly is the backrooms? Of course, you could probably answer that easily in its barest, most literal sense. It's a kind of multi-part alternate dimension divided into these bizarre, varied levels. But why is all this here? It occurs to you, thinking about it, that the very aesthetic of the backrooms is, for the most part, so strangely man-made. Like we've said earlier, so many of these levels evoke these relatively recent periods of human history. just a little off in some way or other. This means, presumably, that the backrooms as a dimension isn't as old as Earth. After all, how could these levels have come to be without the real-world inspirations coming into existence first? The so-called front rooms that we all call home. Perhaps you begin to ponder that the backrooms exists as some kind of strange residue of human consciousness. Every time a human being has a half-formed memory of their time spent working in a bland office, or a short childhood stay at a strange old hotel, or a late evening trying to find your car in some ominous concrete parking complex, the other half of that memory leaks into the backrooms and influences things. It is everything almost forgotten. Memories, without the core human component that makes them live and breathe within the recesses of your mind. Even now, what are you walking through? Hallways. Endless, strange concrete hallways. These are, by definition, liminal spaces. Places never meant to be a permanent residence. Just a transient bridge between two more meaningful locations.
Here's what you need to know about Chromebooks. Chromebooks are powerfully simple laptops.
This is never meant to be a permanent residence. Just a transient bridge between two more meaningful locations. The thought isn't comforting. If your theory is correct, you're swimming in the residue of the human psychosphere. You're part of everything deemed not worth remembering, but somehow hangs on. At least partially anyway. Under that definition, maybe you really do belong here. But before you can slip further into these bleak thoughts that ruled your life out there, you hear another human voice that profoundly relieves you. Hello? Is somebody out there? Calls a voice from the other side of a heavy metal door further down the hallway. The voice sounds more confused and surprised than anything else. Eager for a social distraction, you run forward. You're suddenly mindful of your clanking footsteps against the ground. The same footsteps that must have alerted this stranger to your presence. Someone or something is always listening around here, it seems. When you reach the door, you call out that yes, somebody is here. You tell the mysterious stranger your name, and ask him if he's okay out there. Yes, I'm fine. Well, as fine as one can be down here, the stranger says with a nervous laugh. I'm Enric. I thought I was the only one here. You say that you thought the same, and ask him if he knows anything about all the mysterious dead bodies littered around the level. I'm afraid they were all already dead long before I got here. Enric replies, I've been the only one here for so long. I can't tell you how good it feels to hear another human being's voice, even through a wall. And you can't help but feel the same way. You came here to run away from people, from society, from yourself. But occasionally, in the many desolate levels of the backrooms, you're just happy to be talking to someone. Sometimes, a little conversation can really save your life. Want to stay tuned?
This is the complex backroom experience, or something like that. Now, I know that there's been a lot of backroom games, but to be perfectly honest, I still don't really know what the backrooms is all about, other than being a series of rooms in the back. I know that it has to do with clipping through reality. There's a difference. I don't know what the difference is, but that doesn't mean that I don't recognize that there's a difference. And then you find yourselves in the back room, and there's no escaping. The back room's not the back room. September 22nd, 1986. The spookiest year of all. Oh, this looks nice. I mean, I'm not shitting on the backrooms. That's not what I'm doing. I like the backrooms in essence. The really something special. It reminds me of the SCP games from way back when, especially SCP-087-B, given that it's an endless series of repeating rooms that are inherently liminal, in a way. I don't know what the hell is happening here. The only difference being you were going down a stairwell in that one, and then you were going into some mundane-looking rooms filled with horrors beyond your comprehension in the other one. Very different. The same. What was my point? I don't even know. I don't even remember. Oh. And there you go. That is how it happens. One thing One thing you know, first thing you know, you're taking a coffee break by your TV. Next thing you know, you clip through the floor and find yourselves in the back rooms. And here I am. Wow. Well, this one actually really nails the feel. I really feel like I'm in 1986. And I feel like I'm in the back rooms. That's a little more rumbly than it needs to be. Also, why is the game smaller? I get why the game's square, but the game seems to be smaller for some reason. 1 second. Oh, God. Never mind. It doesn't like it. It doesn't like me. I'm just going to leave it. Also, why is my camera darker in OBS? Do I have a filter on this? Colors look way up. What is wrong with you? God, when I don't put you on night vision because I didn't feel like putting the... Hold on, everybody. This is very, very important. Now we got it. Now we're dialed in. Now we're going into the back rooms. Lexi and you'll just have to deal with the sizing issue. It's not my fault, not my problem. That's an editing problem. And you're an editor. A good editor. A great editor. A fantastic editor. I never questioned anything about your editing. You're doing great. Don't kill me. Okay. Thank you. I'll make the content now. Alright, what am I doing? The back rooms are a series of rooms. Well, they're not even really a series of rooms. I think a room is defined by an enclosed space, usually separated by walls and a door. Or maybe even it doesn't have to have a door on it, but it needs to be kind of an enclosed space. Oh, I don't like that area.
Have no fun.
I'm slow. Why am I slow? Did I run out of breath? Am I a weak baby? Am I a little baby that can't run for shit? Apparently. I'm actually very impressed at the feel of this. It really does feel like I'm alone. In the back rooms, freshly divorced, trying to get by on my day job. And yet the boss keeps asking me to do more and more, and I have to sleep in the break room just to be able to get by. And then I fall through the floor, and then I find myself stumbling and hobbling. Is that different over there? I'm detecting a slightly different hue. Oh, it is a slightly different hue. I don't like the darkness. I don't like the darkness. I don't like the darkness over there. But this is a different hue. And also the pillar shape seems to be a little bit different. What are you? What are you? What is what? You? What? Hello? Is this important? Is that just a way to run away from a monster when it's chasing me? When something's trying to crawl up my ass, I'm gonna crawl at that speed through a hole to try to escape, or is that just a gap? Ooh. I don't like the darkness. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I don't like the darkness. I don't like none of the darkness. Darkness ain't something I like. Did I hear something? Could have sworn that I heard something, but I might have been mistaken. Oh. I say oh, but I get it looks a lot similar here, but this is fundamentally different from what I was seeing before, right? Look, I think people are getting bored. Hit them with a jump scare. And then hit them with a fun fact. But don't tell them what order you're going to hit them with them in. Okay? Alright. Okay. Green? No? Yes? No? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Is there something following me? There better not be something following me. Can I zoom? Can my eyes zoom? Yes, they can. I can zoom with my eyeballs. That's really incredible. Oh, God. I don't know if I'm... So what was that all about? Why did the light kick on? That's not something that usually happens here, or as far as I know, but I don't know really what happens here because it's my first time here. I don't know how much longer I can wander aimlessly in the back rooms without finding anything interesting, kind of conceptually malevolent. It's leaving me with a yearning desire to scream, "What are you? What are you? What are you? What are you?" Oh, I thought it was like an Among Us character. I was about to say, leaving me with a distinct urge to scream at the top of my lungs. You tell me you wouldn't get in the back rooms and start screaming? I'm not saying for help. I'm not no baby. I ain't no baby, but I'll be screaming just because I want to fill the emptiness with the song of my soul. Hello, who's there? Anybody? Very long time, but I feel like I might have been skirting the outskirts of it. I'm gonna go in this dark corridor. You can't stop me.
Let's pause it. Let's go get my mum. See if it's here. Come in. Yeah, hey. Don't wanna come with me to look around? So, cool, come on. Gang, gang. Let's go. Unlock it. Lock it back up. Here we are. Wherever this level is. Have on. Put on my mask. Come on, stay by. Oh, hello there. Meet again at last. Die. 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 Stay back. Die. Die. Come here. Die. Just die already, you stupid. Die. Die. Come here. What is this thing? I think we found the exit. Ready? Sit. Well, sit. Let's quickly go. I guess this is it for me and my mum. Let's go.